Hello everyone, my name is Veronica Ross and I am the Treasury Management Leader for Kearny Bank. We recently at Kearny Bank launched our Women in Business program, which is called Kearny Bank ChangeMakers, because we are passionate about supporting one of the fastest growing segments within the U.S. economy, which is women in business. Here with us today, we have Xenia Ambatazoglu, which is the lead ambassador for the Kearny Bank ChangeMakers, and Rafael Mata, who is the regional director with the NJSBDC. They will be walking us through a program that will help women succeed in business and open up many doors for them. And now, without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and let them allow us to learn more about the program.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Rafael, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate this time with you today to share a little bit more about this important segment and what we can do to better assist them in growing their business. So first and foremost, could you please share with us a little bit about yourself and what is the NJSBDC, and more importantly, what does that stand for?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I am Rafael Mata, aka Ralph Mata. I'm the regional director of the Small Business Development Center at Kearny University. Just so that we know a little bit more about acronyms, NJSBDC stands for New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. I am one of 11 centers throughout the state of New Jersey, which are here to help you start, scale, and grow your businesses. We are your go-to organization for navigating you through anything related to compliance. We meet with banking partners like Kearny Bank to help you access capital. And part of what we're going to talk about today is one of the programs that we're teaming up with Kearny Bank to bring to you.
Excellent, thank you so much. So if we could start and talk a little bit more about that, can you give us an overview of what minority-owned, women-owned certification means, and how does that benefit small businesses?
Thank you, Xenia. I really love to talk about this. Minority certification comes with negative connotation, or we think about certifications and the word minority as only being Hispanic or African American. That is a myth. When they talk about minority certifications or minorities in business, they're talking about underrepresented businesses. Underrepresented businesses include women in business. So one of the things that I'll tell you that people are not taking advantage of are these business certifications, and what that actually means for the growth of your business. It means access to capital, it means access to networks, and obviously it means putting yourself in a pool of resources or access to resources that you absolutely don't know anything about. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. That program that we offer and how we can team up with Kearny Bank to bring that to the community.
Excellent, thank you so much. So in going with that, can you tell us a little bit, so something that I was a little confused about was the thought process is that it's larger organizations or industries that tend to benefit. Are there industries that benefit more than others in regards to this certification? Why or why not?
So interestingly enough, there are no industries that benefit one over the other, but you're absolutely right, Xenia. When people talk about these business certifications that get them contracts or get them procurement opportunities, they usually think of construction for whatever reason. I think it just gets the most press is what's happening. But any business in any industry selling any service or product can benefit from these certifications. And I'll give you an example of that. We had a business, for example, that registered, wanted to take advantage of a resource that the New Jersey Economic Development Authority had. And that minority certification, getting that document first, actually resulted in them getting a 25% bump in the grant amount, and their minority designation got them another $8,000. So this has not really been very popular or very well funded prior to the pandemic, but we have a special situation now. After the pandemic, a lot of resources were put behind these certifications. So there is no industry that is benefiting more than the other. Right now, any business should be looking to be categorized as a woman-owned business. You are not required to be a minority woman-owned business, although that is a certification. Women in business are in the minority. Women in leadership roles are in the minority. The SBDC is here to help try to ameliorate that.
Excellent. So along those lines, can you talk to us a little bit more about the recent and upcoming changes with certifications and how that's going to impact small business?
The recent changes really benefit our partnership here at Kearny Bank and the community. First and foremost, the word certification basically means that an entity, an organization is qualifying that you are a certain subset of the population or you have a certain skill set. I need to be clear and say that at any given time you have 15 to 17 different business certifications operating in the state of New Jersey. So people are very often confused and say, what does that mean? That term is kind of put out there a lot. Changes that happen that you can take advantage of right now is the Department of Treasury about 2 years ago eliminated the fee, which was $100 per certification. And they also made the application electronic. What did that allow us to do at the Small Business Development Center? It allowed us to create what we call small business learning labs around that specific certification. And we've systematized the process. So we're gonna review the documents. We're gonna have people come into Kearny Bank, local Kearny Bank or headquarters, and we're gonna be able to help people walk through that application. And as funny as that sounds, that's really never been done. A lot of education has been done around these things. We're looking to handhold the community, especially women-owned businesses, so they can take advantage of all the things that are out there. So changes that came is application is online, can be done in 20 minutes with our assistance. The documents have been reduced and there's no fees now. So there's really no reason to not get certified. There's no cost.
I could not agree with you more, and I will tell you what, that's what I've been hearing out there in the public is it sounds complicated, I don't know what I'm doing, and people put it off. And then of course thinking that there's costs. So this is a great opportunity to expedite some of these certifications.
Absolutely.
Can you share some statistics demonstrating the impacts to small business with or without certification, and maybe a success story you've had lately?
Absolutely, I can give you actually 2 success stories, but the impact that it has on the communities is there are monies that are put out there in the private sector and the government sector. In the private sector, these things are called supplier diversity. In the government sector, they're called set-asides. But essentially, many agencies and entities have a diversity strategy. They're looking to capture more markets, to expand, to connect with their customers better. And that leads to contract opportunities for small businesses, in this case, women in business. So the opportunities that you have at the table are, at state government, they're spending millions. Federal government, hundreds of millions. County government, hundreds of thousands. City government, thousands of dollars. These certifications put you in a special pool, a subset, where you're competing only with other women-owned businesses or other minority-owned businesses. It creates a situation, Xenia, where you don't have to compete with the large corporations. You are competing with other businesses in your revenue points, in your size. It creates a little bit more of a fair playing field for people trying to ramp up and scale up. It's a perfect place an entry point to start scaling up. To get new clients, they have to be certified beforehand. So self-certification is not a thing. Yes, in many instances, we can just look at you and see that you're a woman or that you're a minority or maybe even that you're a veteran based on how you're dressed and that sort of stuff. But the certification process is a small number of documents. It's the government or another entity saying that you are a bona fide woman, and that opens up the door to all types of resources and things like that. Especially at the SBDC, we can really stack a lot of resources together after they get these certifications.
Excellent. And how about that success story? Or 2?
So we have several success stories. So the success story that I started to talk about earlier with the NJEDA opportunity, we have the first minority-owned, fully electric logistics company that we helped launch, I'm gonna say about 1.5 years ago. This gentleman has probably seen about $900,000 in grants and other resources that he's accessed. We're also helping to position him with large organizations like PSE&G and other sort of government subsidized programs that help expand this electric movement. Not only is he doing logistics with the trucks, but he's also looking to provide charging solutions in distressed areas. All of this started with a certification. All of it started with, hey, Rafael, I registered this business. I'd like to get my hand on a couple of electric trucks, but here's really my dream. That certification not only got him the resources that he needed, but also when it comes time to contract, those larger companies that have those minority goals are gonna be able to utilize him, they're gonna prioritize him. There's a certain bucket of money that will go just to him. So you're talking about, eliminating competition with a single piece of paper or making yourself look more attractive to the people buying your services or goods. That's what certifications do. The other instance of certification that we had was, back when I worked in county government, the state of New Jersey has a 3% set aside for disabled veterans. I won't mention the company on this call, on this interview. However, that company ended up being the first contracted disabled veteran contractor in the state of New Jersey, and that law has been on the books since 2015. So just think about the fact that people are passing laws, money is being put aside, and businesses are not getting certified. One of the reasons that I'm here is because Kearny Bank is giving me an opportunity to reach out directly to the community and say, please get certified, please take advantage of these funds, grants, and things of that sort. So those are two pretty substantial things, and that company happens to be a PR company, which is not something that translates very easily to government. So SBDCs helped that business, they guided them through all of that stuff. Not only the certification, but how do I reposition my company for that new market and stuff like that. So your certification is just the beginning, opens the door to all of SBDC's no-cost consulting. No-cost consulting to the businesses.
That's amazing, and I heard a lot of money there. $900,000.
$900,000. That's just one business. That's just one business. Those are the type of businesses that we're looking to identify in the future. We want more businesses that are making $3 million and want to get to 10 million, 5 million, want to get to 20 million. That's how we build local economies.
Excellent. Rafael, that all sounds amazing. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about how a business could potentially get started and get certified so they can take advantage of all of that?
Well, that's where I get to brag about my small business learning labs. And ironically enough, I've been doing this here for 25 years. Small business learning labs create an environment at Kean University, but as of I'm gonna say 2 weeks ago, the state director has authorized that we expand this across all the centers in the state. So I'm very happy about that. But it creates an environment where you have anywhere from 10 to 30 people. They are engaged by our center weeks before the course. They upload their documents electronically. Everything is done electronically. We review their documents beforehand, and they're not scheduled for the class until we know that they have everything ready to upload. By the time they show up, it's a nice cup of coffee, bagel. We treat business owners like business owners. We do it all in the university, and we can't do it off-site. We're trying to get away from doing things in dreary government buildings. People don't feel good around government buildings for very many reasons. But it allows us to review the documents. It allows us to walk them through the certification process. And because we are a quasi-government or public-private organization, we have ties to the departments and the organizations that provide those certifications. So if you have any issues, if they contest anything, if any document doesn't pass the mark to do that, we can help advocate and help fix a lot of those issues. If you've done it on your own and you got stuck and some reason you got a rejection, those labs are also there to try to help you through those sort of things. The certification lab is just the first that we're trying to launch, but anything that has to do with being procurement ready or bankable, you can expect to be rolling out the rest of this year, and obviously for me to be connected with Kearny Bank about offering those as well.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I think we can stay tuned for more collaboration, possibly some opportunity for getting our businesses certified. And thank you for your time today. That was really informative.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you so much for having me.